Hey y'all, with it being Thanksgiving break, we weren't able to record a full episode of PM this week, but we were able to record a short little rivalry week preview last week while we were still down at Auburn, so we hope you guys enjoy that. But before we get into that, I want to cover a couple big storylines that we're not going to mention because we didn't know about them yet. First off being the Jordan Travis injury for Florida State. He has confirmed it will end his college career. Lower leg injury suffered against North Alabama, and so the Seminoles will turn to Tate Rodemaker for the rest of the season versus Florida in the Swamp and then in the ACC title game against Louisville. Florida State also slid down in the rankings from number 4 outside to number 5, with Washington taking that 4 spot. So now it looks like Florida State might be able to slot in at 4 behind the SEC champ, the Big 12 or the Big 10 champ, and the Pac-12 champ, whoever those 3 teams may be. But we might see some chaos if they lose to Louisville with Tate Rodemaker. We might see Texas sneak in. Alabama might have a way in still. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But Florida State better not look past Florida this weekend because the Gators are playing pretty well recently, on offense at least. Max Brown played pretty well coming in for Graham Mertz after he was out with a fractured shoulder against Missouri. So big game in Gainesville this weekend. Then, as far as the Iron Bowl goes, Auburn with one of the most embarrassing losses in program history, losing at home 31-10 to the New Mexico State Aggies in a game they paid New Mexico State $1.8 million to come play. New Mexico State almost doubled Auburn's total yardage in this one, in what was just a pathetic performance from the Auburn offense and defense. Both sides of the ball were not functioning well. So if Auburn plays like that, this Iron Bowl might be a foregone conclusion as an Alabama win. We'll have to see if the Tigers can bounce back, but right now it looks like the Tide might have a good time in Jordan-Hare, as sad as it is to say. And that pretty much covers all our major storylines about the games we mentioned in our Rivalry Week preview. So I hope you guys enjoy that this week, and we'll see you back next week for more Paige and Micah in the PM.
Welcome to a mini episode of Paige and Micah in the PM. It's Thanksgiving, so you know what that means, Micah.
I'm hungry.
That too. And it's rivalry weekend.
Or that.
That too, yeah. We're going to preview some crucial games that will ultimately end up deciding who gets in and who doesn't, with the College Football Playoff Committee having their final rankings release coming out very, very soon. So to start us off, Oregon State at Oregon.
Yeah, so this game, Oregon State won last season. I think Oregon's going to be looking for revenge. This is always a close game in recent years of how Oregon State has been able to develop talent. Jonathan Smith has honestly kind of had Oregon's number a little bit. I think that changes this year. I think Bo Nix is enough for this team, especially at home in Eugene. Autzen Stadium is going to be going crazy.
Crazy uniforms too. I'm feeling there's going to be something good there.
They need to bring out like the cookies and cream ones. You know those, white with
the white.
They need to bring out those. Those would be cool. Either that or just your nice clean
neon
greens.
Oh, I want something neon.
I don't know. Greens are underrated.
Okay, that's true.
So I think Oregon gets that one done pretty easily. So
I do too, and I think that this win could then propel them into, then they would play Washington again, bounce back, and I think as long as Oregon can lock in this win, they have a top spot in the college football playoff.
Yeah, our next game is Florida State at Florida. Florida State team coming off a couple weak games versus Pitt and Miami, looking to see if they can really build momentum to the ACC title game with a win over rival Florida. The Swamp, though, is going to be rocking. I think that's really Florida's only advantage in this game is the crowd, though.
Yeah.
But if Florida State comes in flat, they could be in trouble.
They could.
I think this is kind of a textbook rivalry trap game.
I do too.
But the Florida defense needs to figure something out before this game for sure.
I mean, you can't argue with SEC environments, and it's rivalry week, so games mean more this week. So I think that, like you said, Florida State really needs to come out sharp. They cannot let up at all in the first half, and when they get that lead, they cannot let it go at all in the second half. And we saw Florida's performance at the beginning of the LSU game. Great. And while the Gators have struggled a bit this season, I think this could be very much a trap game. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
Then we have the Iron Bowl, Alabama at Auburn, down here in Auburn, Alabama.
It doesn't really have an effect on the top 6 at all, but we are just talking about it.
Yeah, both of these teams are playing their best football of the year right now. And I think this is going to be a closer game than people think.
I do too.
Now, who do you think is going to win?
Listen, hear me out. The last time the Iron Bowl was at Auburn, close game. It was 7 overtimes?
2.
Okay, felt like 7. But, I mean, Auburn almost won that game so close. And that Auburn team wasn't even really that good. Then we have the infamous kick 6. Like, miracles happen in Jordan-Hare Stadium. And, I mean, for the way this Auburn team's been playing the past few SEC games on the road, granted it's been Vandy, Arkansas, but I think that this team and this environment, really environment is just the key, and I think that they can come out with a win against Alabama.
I think it's going to be a very close game. I think both teams are going to show up with their best version of themselves and how they've been playing. Unfortunately for Auburn, I think Alabama's best is a bit better than Auburn's best this season.
It is.
And while I do think it'll be close, I think Alabama wins this game. I would love to be proven wrong, though.
Micah, will you be at the Iron Bowl?
I will be at the Iron Bowl.
I'll be there, too. So maybe we'll do a little Paige and Micah at the Iron Bowl. That would be so fun. And when Auburn wins,
hopefully,
maybe we'll get a little rush in the field action.
Our final game is the game. It is Ohio State at Michigan and Ann Arbor. This game has been billed. It's one of the biggest games all year. Probably going to be a top 3 matchup once again. So who do you have in this one?
I mean, this one, oh goodness, it's going to be so close. Michigan has a 2-game win streak in this series so far, and we've seen how that's had an effect on both teams the past 2 seasons and how it's had an effect on the rankings. But I think big news is no Harbaugh, and we've seen this Michigan team dominate without Jim Harbaugh in the beginning of the season and now at the end of the season. But, I mean, I think putting Kyle McCord and J.J. McCarthy on the same field together, give me J.J. McCarthy all day. Give me this Michigan defense. Give me this Michigan rush game. But I think Ohio State coming in with, people saying, oh, like you're number 1, but you're going to end up getting a 3-game lose streak. I think they're going to come in with their best ball game. Of the year.
I am worried about the Michigan offensive line in this one in pass pro. I won't lie. Their right tackle did not handle Chop Robinson well at all, and it's now going to have to face one of JT Tuimoloau or Jack Sawyer. I don't think that's a favorable matchup for Michigan on either side. The good news is I think their run game is definitely good enough to beat the Ohio State rush defense. I think J.J. McCarthy has the poise to stand in and make the throws that he needs to, and I don't think Kyle McCord has that same poise yet. I don't think he's on the level of a big-time game quarterback that J.J. McCarthy is right now. So because of that, and it being in Ann Arbor, give me Michigan.
I mean, can't argue with those stats, but big games coming up this weekend, and we'll just see how it all plays out. We hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you right back here next week to recap and, give our final playoff rankings.
Yes.
I'm very excited to see, where all these bowl standings are going to be. But yeah, just very much looking forward to it. Thanks for watching this little mini episode of Paige and Micah in the PM.
See you guys.